John, we're live. We are live on the Boyertown Athletics Facebook page. This is something brand new we got going on tonight.
We do.
They actually asked us to do a live pregame show. So we're doing a live pregame show. John, this is the Faces for Radio pregame show.
Oh, I like it. I like that name.
You like that?
It's good, yeah.
We're coming to you from Boyertown High School. As you can see behind us, the boys are warming up to face Perk Valley tonight. And, John, we got a lot to talk about this pregame here. Number one of the things that we spend a lot of time discussing when we see the game is the three-point shooting that Boyertown does. And so it's certainly something that's going to be a key to their victory tonight, but something specific has to happen with that three-point shooting.
You know, the Bears have lived and died by the three-pointer this year. They have shot, I think, upwards of 25 three-pointers in a game. They've shot more like 15 in some games, but the big consistent thing with the Bears is when they work the ball and they get those three-pointers within their offensive sets, they're more open, and then they drain them. When they come down the floor, when they try to work in transition and they force up those three-pointers, that's when long rebounds turn into transition opportunities for the other team, and that's when they start to have runs against them. So the three-pointer, again, is going to be big for them tonight, and with good reason. Trade to Guglielmo, Eric Salata, Christian Renninger, Cap, Hummel, Romanello, they all can shoot the three-pointer. But can they get those shots within an offensive set, or is it going to be transition, one pass, and put it up? Against a team like PV, who likes to control the tempo, it's got to be within their offense tonight.
And, John, you mentioned the word tempo. As the three-pointers work back and forth for Boyertown, whether or not they're in that offensive set and they work for those three-pointers like you're talking about, that's going to lead to tempo, and tempo is also going to be a big part of this game tonight.
You know, in the first game against Perk Valley for the Bears, PV won that game, and it was a close back-and-forth game all the way through. But what PV was able to do late in that game, they were able to slow the pace down offensively. Boyertown stuck in that 2-3 zone, and PV worked the ball, and as they did that, defense tired out. They were able to get layups, backdoor cuts, and that ended up winning them the ball game. So PV is very good at controlling their pace of play offensively. The Bears, though, Jim, are a different team since they saw PV a few weeks ago. After the Methacton game, which we were here for, the Bears totally revamped their defensive strategy. They went out of their normal 2-3, and they have started to play up-in-your-face man-to-man defense. So while the Bears need to be patient and methodical on offense, they almost want to do the opposite tonight on defense. They have got to get up in PV's face. They have got to press the issue early defensively. They need to make sure that they are not allowing Perk Valley to get ball reversal after ball reversal. And really that starts with great on-the-ball defense from Eric Salata and guys like David Lay, who have bought into this new man-to-man philosophy and are playing very, very well defensively. Can the Bears create energy in their game tonight by playing great defense?
A lot of talk about defense there, John. Let's move to the other side of the ball. Let's talk about offense. One thing that's not surprising this year for the Bears is the offense seems to go through trade to Guglielmo. And we've seen spurts where other players have stepped up here and there. There was a game David Lay was the high scorer. Hummel was actually the high scorer for one of the games. How is that offensive set and that distribution of the offense, making sure you get someone else other than Trey to Guglielmo being the offensive leader of this team?
Well, first, what's nice about Trey is that he's a very multi-dimensional player. He can shoot it from the outside. He also has gotten very good at going down low and working with his back to the basket. He has a nice little left hand and right hand little jump hook in the lane. However, Trey is an unselfish player. He will look to pass. He'll look to kick out for the other shooters. And we just said there's a lot of shooters on this Boyertown team. So Trey, if he does not get going tonight, much like last night in their loss to Methacton, he was held to only about, I think it was 3 points. If Trey can't get going tonight from outside or inside, somebody else has to step up. They're going to have open shots. It's just a matter of who's going to knock him down. David Lay had 2 really big three-pointers here the other night that stopped a big run by the other team, and they were able to pull that game out and get the victory. But like we said earlier, other players have stepped up this year. Christian Renninger has stepped up and been high scorer. Griffin Hummel has, you mentioned. Jay Cap, I saw him make 10 three-pointers in a game last year, and he has the ability to do that as well. However, because of those outside shots, it's feast or famine, we've said. It's not like they have a lot of big guys who can go inside and get those real nice looks close to the basket. So if Trey DeGuglielmo cannot get going tonight, and I would just guess that Perk Valley has some sort of plan for him, it's got to be somebody else stepping up. But the question is, who's it going to be? My bet for this game against this type of team that controls tempo, my bet is it's going to be Eric Salata tonight, making sure that he weaves his way through the defense, cutting in, driving, beating his man off the dribble, creating opportunities for himself and for his teammates.
John, you put yourself out there with Eric Salata. So one of us has to be right and one of us has to be wrong.
Sure.
So I'll throw Christian Reniger out there.
Go for it.
We had a few games ago, Christian Reniger was, I believe, the leading scorer. Did a lot for this team offensively. His ability to drive, his ability to kick out, his ability to shoot that stop and pop that we say is a lost art in a lot of ways. We don't see it a lot in these games, and we don't see it a lot in high school basketball anymore. Christian Reniger is a player who's able to do that. So when we look at the tempo, we take everything that we talked about here tonight so far. We talked about the three-pointers. We talked about the tempo. We talked about some of the defense in relation to the tempo. We're talking about the scoring around the team. How does that go with spurts? What does Boyertown have to do now when they're going to be on those spurts where they might go on a 8-0 run, or they might be the victim of an 8-0 run? How's Coach Ludwig going to come through with this tonight and make sure to keep these boys' heads in the game and make it the type of game that they can be in it to win when we're in the fourth quarter?
What's nice about playing man-to-man defense, which is what the Bears have done now the past 5 or 6 games, is that you're able to guard a little bit better against spurts like that, because if somebody's going off for them, and Tyler Lapatina for Perk Valley is averaging 19 points a game, if he starts to go off, you can lock him down by having somebody face guard him, by just making sure that you're helping off of those players that aren't that big of an offensive threat for Perk Valley. So playing man-to-man defense is going to help them a little bit defensively, not allow Perk Valley to go into a spurt. And really, Perk Valley plays at such a slow pace. I wouldn't expect any big run from them. It's going to be, in my opinion, a slow back and forth, methodical game. But offensively, for the Bears, if there is a run for PV, you just have to knock down a shot. And we've seen other teams go on runs when they just go cold from that outside. So if they continue to work the ball, 2-3 ball reversals, and get that three-pointer, that open look, they'll drain it.
John, a slow, methodical back and forth game. That's going to open up a lot of opportunities to discuss some restaurants, some food options. I mean, we've touched on a lot of places. We're going to see if we can come out of the woodwork with some new places tonight. If we do have to have a slow, methodical back and forth game, we're going to have to do something to fill time.
Slow and methodical, which is the exact opposite way that I eat my food.
Well, we're exactly the same on that one.
Right.
I mean, there's
right,
no question.
Right.
So as we look out here, we have about 6 minutes left for the boys to warm up here. John, one of the things that we like to do is we like to make this show our own, but let's pay homage to somebody. Let's pay homage to Lee Corso. John, who do you got tonight? Let's take our picks.
All right, well, Perk Valley did win that last game, Jim. They had a back-and-forth game, like we said, with Boyertown, but they came out at the end. But you know what? We are on the Boyertown Athletics YouTube page, right?
We are. What do you got here, John? John's going Lee Corso.
We're going with the Bears, Jim.
John, I don't think we can hear you.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing that stinks about being live in video. I can't believe I'm talking to a bearhead. We've been able to be radio, and we called this is being called, this is the Faces for Radio pregame show for a reason. John, we usually do these games in sweatpants and hooded sweatshirts, and you come up here with your gym bag ready to go to batting practice after the game. I'm impressed with the look tonight, John. You're not even wearing sneakers. And to think that you texted me and said, Jim, what are you wearing tonight? I went jeans, and I told you I'm doing exactly what I said I would do. Jeans, long sleeve white t-shirt, and the Boyertown polo shirt. You stepped it up. I'm impressed.
I did. I can't see myself right now, but yeah, I did.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have, again, about 5 minutes left. So we're going to call it a night on the Faces for Radio pregame show. Remember, on the Boyertown Athletics YouTube page, make sure you like it, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share. Get some love there for that Facebook page and the YouTube channel. And we will be back on the NFHS network You have to go to the NFHS network now to listen to us. Thank goodness you won't have to see us while the game is going on. And we will be back on there again in just under 5 minutes for tonight's contest where the Boyertown Bears will play host to the Vikings of Perk Valley.
see clear rules and regulations set forth by PAC and the PIAA District 1. We now ask all of you in attendance to rise, remove your hats, and salute our flag as we play our national anthem.
And now for starting lineups first for the visiting Perk Valley Vikings. A senior forward, number 10, Cameron Parks. Junior forward, number 11, Ethan Cole. Junior forward, number 13, Dawson DeVille. Senior guard, number 15, Dominic Micheli. And senior guard number 23, Tyler Lapatino. The Vikings are coached by Mike Boyertown. And now for your Boyertown Bears. Is Marinello starting? Is he? Number 3. A junior guard, Roman Marinello. A senior forward, number 22, Trey Guglielmo. Senior forward, number 23, David Lay. A senior guard, number 32, Christian Renninger. And senior center, number 40, Chris Kiefer. The Bears are coached by Mike Leonard. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the game.
John, we can dispense with the normal pregame talk. Thanks to the Faces for Radio pregame show.
Got it.
The debut. And we have an early development. The game hasn't even tipped off yet, and you are already wrong. And I hate to say that. I'm not pleased about you being wrong because Eric Salata is in street clothes.
Game time decision must have been. He tweaked something and must have been a very, very late scratch there. And do I get to do my pick over or no? Am I stuck with him?
Yeah, I'll let you do your pick over before they throw the tip.
Who did you say?
I said Renninger.
David Lay. David Lay is going to be the game changer here.
Here's the tip, and it looks like you might be right off the bat fighting for it in the corner. And they're going to call that possession of Boyertown. John, he's already 2 seconds into the game. David Lay making a difference for Boyertown.
Attaboy, David.
We will certainly see. I walked in tonight, and I came through my normal door, and I saw Coach Ludwig, and had to tell him something funny today. Had a little funny story to tell him as Dominic Micheli, his drive gets knocked out. And I said, hey, Coach, I got something funny to tell you. And he just looked at me and said, not right now. I think he had just heard that Salata was out for the game.
That sounds like a typical Coach Ludwig response on any game day, Jim. Don't feel bad.
We normally have good conversations before games. Boyertown setting up their offense early inside to Kiefer. Perk Valley in a man-to-man size advantage for DeGuglielmo inside, and he goes up with the left hand. Good early start for Trey DeGuglielmo.
There's that hook shot that we talked about early on. He's done a very nice job making himself a post and perimeter player. He's the closest thing that Boyertown has had to a true swing player in many, many years.
John, Boyertown's in a 2-3 zone.
So maybe, again, this is because of Salata not being on the floor and then maybe thinking that they can't get that ball pressure that they want to get. But if they keep on allowing the gray area open like that, they're going to have to go to man pretty quick.
Yeah, Ethan Kohler found a seam in that zone. Easy layup for Perk Valley's first two. And here comes my boy Reniger. Good drive by Christian Reniger. Unable to convert that layup. Perk Valley comes the other way. Jump shot inside by Cameron Parks. Nice turnaround on Lay. Early 4-2 lead for the Vikings. And Perk Valley is doing some switching here. Leaves DeGuglielmo open for a long three-pointer, and he connects. Boyertown's got 5. Trey has 5. The Bears have a 1-point lead.
So it looks like the game plan tonight is to go something on a make and something on a miss. Looks like Boyertown's playing that 2-3 zone on a make and then going man on a miss. Maybe this is because PV got a little bit too comfortable last game, and they have been playing very, very well as of late. So maybe this is just to give them a different look here, and maybe they can get them kind of off balance with their offensive sets if they give them a different look, each time down the floor.
Looks like Cameron Parks was expecting Ethan Kohler to come behind him on that behind-the-back pass. Thank you, Christian Reniger. Three-pointer for, I'll say it again, John, my pregame pick of the key player of the game.
I think David Lay still counts as a pregame pick for me because
it does.
Great look by David Lay. David Lay took a step like he was going to take that shot, but like we said in the pregame, ball reversals lead to open shots for this Bears team, and David Lay, very unselfish there, gave it up to Christian Reniger. Big three here early. For the Bears, who have been playing so well as of late, it was very, very deflating yesterday to see that Methacton score. But this is a team that if they get going early, it just keeps rolling. It just keeps going for them. They feed off energy. They feed off emotion. And early makes like that, early three-pointers like that, is only going to make this Boyertown team get more confident as this first quarter goes on.
They're perfect from three-point land right now, John.
Great job, Jim. You are just...
Thanks.
Wisdom.
Hey, you got to get it when you can get it, Great steal by Reniger. Tips it out of bounds. This is the pressure, and it's good to see Boyertown's bench also getting into the game tonight. They are in the high-pressure man-to-man right now. Yep. Roman Marinello's got to keep his hands off, move his feet a little bit better there. He's going to get called for his first foul and the first foul of the game. Five minutes left in the first quarter. 8-4 is the Boyertown lead. They're going to go inside the high post to Lapatina. He's going to try to go over Kiefer. That's not going to work. Roman Marinello is going to come the other way. Here's Reniger for his second attempt of the game, and he drains it.
Great shot by Christian Reniger. Again, unselfish there. Trey could have jacked that one up, but got it back to Christian. Let's keep feeding the ball to the guys who are making the shots. Right now, that's Christian Reniger.
2-3 zone here for Boyertown. Not sure. Great defense from Reniger. He's going to drive, kick it out to DeGuglielmo, and his three-pointer finds the net cords. Another three-point shot for Boyertown. They're jumping to a 14-4 lead and they are pumped, John.
Stop reversing the ball. Just shoot. Fire it up. Chuck the ball right now if you're Boyertown. Whatever you can do to fire a three-pointer as soon as you cross half court, do it, because it's working.
So let's throw all the finesse of basketball out the window.
Correct.
Lapatina gives his a whirl, and that is no good. David Lay to Reniger. Why not, John? Why not? Boyertown 5 for 5 from three-point land early in the game. Reniger's got 9.
This is the best team in the Pac-10 right now, the Pac rather. PV has been playing so well over the past 2 or 3 weeks. It is not over by any stretch, but you got to take this emotion and you got to ride it, and you got to keep feeding the ball to guys like Christian Reniger and Trey DeGuglielmo and try to get this lead as big as you can, because PV's not going away.
There's Parks with another turnaround. That's no good. And here comes Boyertown again. David Lay. Oh, I thought he was going to try, John. I actually thought he was going to attempt that one.
Just by law of averages, you would think a 3 would not go in here. So seeing them work the ball and try to get a layup here or an easy shot underneath might be the best way to go.
Or a turnover. But it's good to see there's still, we talk about the emotion Boyertown has early on here. Christian Reniger called with the walk. He drops the ball and he ran back on defense.
I do like that about a lot of these guys. They don't hang their heads. They keep playing. They deal with adversity, which they had to the first 6 games of this season, and they played well these last couple of weeks because they've dealt with adversity. And I mean, these are life lessons these guys are learning this year, and you can only hope that it ends with a district berth for them and a chance to play some and win some basketball games in the playoffs.
Kohler's drive inside. He's fouled by Kiefer. Park Valley's inbounds pass is knocked out of bounds, and Boyertown will keep possession. John, I don't think it's happened yet this year where Boyertown has had a 17-4 lead to start a game against an opponent like Perk Valley.
Correct. They have really let other teams, they've let other teams dictate tempo, dictate pace, just like that right there. They've let teams be the aggressor early on. So Roman, we just talked about dealing with adversity. Roman's going to pick his head up here. He'll be fine. He'll be okay. But big steal right there for PV. Nice job by Dominic Michelli going after that ball and getting an easy layup.
And John, it's one of the things as Roman was there, he was trying to listen to Coach Ludwig for some play instructions. Obviously gave up that turnover and very disappointed with himself standing over by the scorer's table. And Coach Ludwig walks down the sideline and gives them a high five.
This is where you go talk to your teammates encourage you, and Roman's going to have to get back out on this floor at some point with Eric Salata out of the game. He'll be fine.
Hummel into the game now. Finds a cutting to Guglielmo, who may have gotten away with the travel, but we're not going to worry about that because he finds Kiefer underneath for an easy 2.
So the Bears zone right here needs to make sure that they're taking away drives and taking away that gray area right there. Against PV last game, the Bears just allowed PV to go right by them. They extended that zone a little bit too much, and PV went right by him, got backdoor cuts, and got layups. Can the Bears take away that 3, but still not extend too much and give them driving lanes?
PV's trying to find some openings in this zone. They find Parks at the top of the key. He finds Kohler out to Maselli. That's no good. Hummel certainly someone who can help this streak of 3-pointers for Boyertown. Reniger's drive and kick does not find Lay. It finds the hands of Dawson DeBebe. And Perk Valley will try to do something, cut into this 12-point lead. Incredible offensive output here in the first quarter for Boyertown.
Lapatina again for PV is the one averaging 19 points a game. He's a 3-point shooter. He's among the league leaders, so look for him to be working underneath. It seems like he likes to work underneath and maybe come off teammates' screens and get open on the outside, but he's definitely going to be the X factor here for PV to get back in this game.
That was a great little move by Cameron Parks to create some space, hit a 15-foot jump shot. Coach Ludwig calls for, I don't know, John, if he was calling play number 1 or he was calling for 1 shot. Looks like he was calling for 1 shot. Reniger has it. Just about 10 seconds left in the corner. He's going to drive all the way. He's going to throw it way up. And he'll get fouled and go to the line to shoot two.
Probably a good decision there by Renninger just to go and try to make contact and go to the basket there. Kiefer may have been open for a second. PV did a nice job of guarding the outside there. So good job by Renninger, good decision, and hopefully 1 or 2 points will be on the board here for Boyertown. They'll go into this second quarter, hopefully, up by double digits.
Short on the first one is Renninger. As Jake Kapp comes in to spell David Lay for the last 5 seconds of the quarter. Joe McClellan a little early on that buzzer for a substitute. Now Coach Ludwig sends Ryan Schaefer to the table. It's a moot point. Renninger misses the second. And Boyertown almost gave up an easy 2 for Kohler there late in the quarter. But they keep that 10-point advantage, 19-9, headed into the second quarter. Quite the performance from the Bears early on, John.
Yeah, that little 2-minute stretch, whatever it was there, 2-3 minutes of those three-pointers, we're going to hope that it's the deciding factor in this game. But I have a hunch that Perk Valley, who has been the most consistent team in the pack this year, is going to make a run at some point. And we said in the pregame, can Boyertown eliminate spurts from the other team? PV is going to be forced into a little bit quicker of a pace here. They're down by 10. They can't take all the time that they want reversing the ball and being methodical on offense. So with that quickened pace, Boyertown needs to just understand time and situation. If they have the lead, especially this double-digit lead right now, they don't need to force up shots. They can still get those open looks. They can get those looks in transition. But again, feast or famine, they either seem to make them all or go real cold, and we're going to hope that the hot streak they showed in the first quarter continues, because it seems like anybody who touched the ball was putting it up and it was going in.
This quarter of basketball for Boyertown brought to you by Shady Maple Smorgasbord. If you want to feast, John, you head to Shady Maple.
You can't have a non-Boyertown restaurant have a quarter sponsor.
You name me a place where you can go and get as much food as Shady Maple within a 45-minute drive. Thank you. Brought to you by Shady Maple. Boyertown with possession here to start the second quarter. Jake Kapp stays in the game. Ryan Schaefer, who was at the scorer's table at the end of the quarter. Coach Ludwig stays with that substitution. PV with some early pressure here against Boyertown. Really working that man-to-man. Find Kapp in the corner. He's unable to face the basket. Good backdoor cut by Renninger, and his left hand goes up, but it's short. Good idea by Renninger. As we go inside, Jake Kapp gets his hand in there. It ends up in Hummel's hands. Kick over to Hummel. That's going up, and that's going to be short. DeGuglielmo tries to tip it. Cameron Parks comes down with it. John, I'm going to call you wrong on something else tonight.
Go for it.
Your slow, methodical back and forth game.
Yeah, and Boyertown's lead here has kind of, forced PV's hand a little bit. You see Coach Poison over there, urging his guys to run. I think he knows that to get back in this game, they need a little bit of energy as well, and those, quick transition points.
So we'll give you credit. I'll give you some credit, John. You're not wrong. The pace of the game and Boyertown's spurt there in the first quarter, like you said, has really forced Perk Valley out of their game plan.
Sure.
We got a foul underneath the basket, but Christian Renninger is slow to get up at the top of the key. The way this kid's been playing, John, I think he's going to need to break a leg to come off of the court.
I know not too much about Christian Renninger, seeing as he's so new to the program, but just with the way he plays, you can tell that. Like it's going to take a broken limb to get him off this court tonight. Did not see what happened there. Was watching the foul underneath, but if that was a screen, if that was a late hit, you're hoping that it wasn't a communication mistake by Boyertown. Coach Ludwig already having a conversation with the referee, trying to figure out what happened there. But as long as the referees are aware that something might have happened there after the whistle, hopefully it doesn't happen again.
And Renninger comes out of the game, and it's good to see him not getting attention from the stellar training staff at Boyertown, led by Donna Harmon.
So with all the seniors that the Bears have on their lineup, this is a pretty young five they have out here. 4 juniors, with the Guglielmo being the only senior.
Boyertown called for an over and back call there.
And that youth may be showing a little bit here. Salata would be still dribbling out there right now. So the Bears right now have to kind of learn on the fly here how to handle this ball, handle the pressure, and make sure that they're able to get the ball into their offense and get some easy looks here, hopefully.
Talk about easy looks. That's an easy look underneath the basket. Perk Valley's cut this lead to 6. David Lay coming back to the scores table. Hummel finds Schaefer, see what he can do on the low block. Great move by Schaefer, but he's unable to connect. DeGuglielmo with the rebound. He kicked it out to Roman Marinello, but got fouled in the process. And Boyertown ball underneath the basket.
The Bears do run their out-of-bounds sets pretty well here. Hopefully they can get something. It's usually a look for DeGuglielmo or for Renninger, the shooters, to see if they can get something here to stop the bleeding here that PV has scored. What we got here, Jim? 6 in a row, maybe?
Yes. Errant pass. Guess they're going to call that tipped. Good for Boyertown. Perk Valley coach is hot.
If they score a point here, it's huge.
John, I didn't see that tipped at all.
Me either.
And I don't think
that was not tipped.
I don't think Coach Poston thought it was either. Poetic justice for Perk Valley as Parks able to take it the other way. A very nice up and under. Cuts the lead to 4. And the Perk Valley JV team on the bench here, making it sound like this gym is full as Coach Ludwig calls a timeout.
Great move by Parks there. Little step from one side to the other. Trey did everything he could there. Trey did everything right on that defensive possession there. Just challenged, didn't foul, didn't give an opportunity for an and one. And Parks just a real nice little reverse right-handed layup there. So we said Perk Valley wasn't going away. Perk Valley has the momentum here. It's a good timeout there by Coach Ludwig. Without Salata on the floor, ball handling becomes a big issue. And right now you have, Renninger just tried to throw a pass without looking. Marinello has had a ball tipped away here a couple times. Just be strong with the ball, help your teammates out, be available for them. PV is going to be looking to be aggressive, it looks like, the rest of the night. So one person's not going to be able to do this like Salata usually does. That's got to be a team effort here. It's got to be everybody willing to bring the ball up the floor. Everybody staying on the wing, being available for their teammates, not running away, not looking at the ball. If they can figure it out as a team, they should be fine.
4-point lead for Boyertown here, 19-15. Boyertown still scoreless in the second quarter, just about 3 minutes in. John, one thing I just noticed here is Perk Valley has not subbed yet in this game. Not sure if that's usual for them, if they are not traditionally a very deep team. But this has been the same 5 in a pretty high-paced game for just about a quarter and a half. Inside to Kiefer, finds Renninger. Long three-pointer from Jake Kapp. That goes off the front of the rim. Great rebound by Renninger. I think he might have wanted a foul against Parks. But Perk Valley's going to try to cut this lead again to 2 points. Possibly 1. Boyertown in there man-to-man. They left Lapatina. Miscommunication there, or a loss of a switch. He's able to convert. It's 19-17.
Not sure what the Bears were thinking there. I don't think they look like they're switching, so I'm not sure why they left Lapatina, the best scorer, one of the best scorers in the league. So something for Coach Miller and Coach Marinello there to chalk up, that they have to tell Coach Ludwig to address at halftime here, what to do on that dribble handoff, because Lapatina can't get shots like that the rest of the game.
Jake Kapp able to get a nice little drop pass into Kiefer underneath the basket. That might be something Boyertown might have to rely on here to get a little bit of pace. And there's Tyler Lapatina, who drains a 3. And he's going to go to the line to try for one more, which will tie this ball game if he's able to convert.
Quite the late call there, Jim. I think that ball was traveling through the net when that whistle sounded, and I guess it's going to be a little late because the foul was done when Lapatina came down, but seemed a little late there.
He does convert. John, all of a sudden, we got a tie ball game. It certainly has been back and forth, but that back and forth has been long spurts. First quarter was Boyertown's. Second quarter so far is Perk Valley. Roman Marinello unable to convert that three-pointer. Parks to baseline, David Lay in his face, and he puts that up against the glass. And all of a sudden, Perk Valley's got a 2-point lead.
I like that shot from Parks. You don't see that jumper off the glass. That's a lost art right there. Nice shot by him.
DeGuglielmo this time with the pass into Kiefer. David Lay ends up with it. Reniger wants it. Coach Ludwig calling for something. .226 left. Again, Perk Valley with that 2-point lead. Reniger's 3 is no good.
It was a good look there for Boyertown. Those are the looks you have to take. However, we got to start making some because PV is on fire right now.
And there's another nice move by Cameron Parks. That's the second or third time he has been able to create some space on his dribble. And dare I say, James Harden-esque with a little bit of that jab step and a step-back jump shot. David Lay in the corner. Reniger, I think his toe was on the line. Doesn't matter, he misses. Kohler with the rebound. Coach Ludwig calling for a 2-3 zone, I think. Long three-point attempt. No good from Lapatina. Boyertown will have possession.
So PV now with the lead, and notice here that was a walk up the floor. Actually, maybe it's because they haven't subbed yet, Jim. However, a sub comes in right now. But so now you see PV. This is where they want to be. They are in control of the game now. They have the lead. You're going to watch them maybe take some more time off the clock and run through their offensive sets. The Bears have gotten a couple open shots here. Reniger, Marinello. These are the shots that weren't falling last night in the fourth quarter and didn't fall against PV last time. They have to fall tonight.
Here's a 15-footer from Kiefer that doesn't fall. Just about a minute left in the half. Perk Valley's going to try to extend this 4-point lead. And John, here is probably what you expected to see more of.
Yep.
Taking their time. Boyertown's doesn't look like they're going to come out and challenge.
And the way the last 8 minutes have gone, would you? I mean, if this is what Boyertown's fourth game in 4 days. I would just have stayed in that 2-3 zone and maybe just said, all right, we'll just take whatever PV has.
Lapatina hits the runner. Got about 30 seconds left. Lapatina a little too aggressive on that one. Whoops. I think Coach Ludwig was expecting him to see it. Thank goodness the referee understood on that one, or that could have gotten ugly.
Yeah, there was a look. Did you see that look?
I
can only imagine what that look was that the referee gave, Coach.
That was one of those ones where you're kind of happy he was wearing a mask because who knows what the rest of that look would have looked like. Dawson DeBebe doing a good job face screening DeGuglielmo when he's on the block, but he's unable to do it there. And that is exactly what Boyertown needed. They needed a 3, whether they did it from 20 feet away or from 2 feet away. They're going to get an opportunity for a 3-pointer right here from Kiefer.
Well, Chris Kiefer at the end of the first quarter should have figured out how much time 5 seconds is as PV went right down the floor and missed that layup. 7 seconds is a lot of time. The Bears cannot relax after this foul shot, whether it's a make or a miss. A stop here gives them a little bit of momentum going into halftime, and they need any momentum that they can get right now.
Kiefer short on that foul shot. Jordan Butler, fresh in the game, runs that one down. Reniger tries a long three-pointer at the buzzer. That's not going to fall. John, that was an exciting first half.
Very exciting.
I'm tired, and I didn't even do anything.
It was all Boyertown in the first. PV, we said right away, PV is not going to allow this to happen. PV is going to be in this game, and it was all PV here in the second. Keys for Boyertown moving forward is finding a way to deal with PV's pressure, and not having Eric Salata on the floor hurts big time for them, because the other ball handlers they have, Renninger, Marinello, Hummel, Capman, Salata's probably only the real true point guard there amongst all of them. They are two guards. They are shooting guards specifically. So it's not going to be one guy. It's not going to be Marinello, or it's not going to be Renninger bringing the ball up every time, handling that pressure. It needs to be a team effort. It needs to be done where you get the ball over half court, get into your offense quick, and you're available for your teammates, because PV knows that Salata's not there, and they're going to try and pressure. Be available, win this game as a team with your ball handling. Don't just let one person do it themselves.
John, Boyertown started the game on fire from three-point land. Certainly cooled off, and they didn't have many opportunities here in the second quarter for those three-pointers. But for Perk Valley, early on, I'll give you credit, you were right. Tyler Lapatina seems to be the engine that gets this going. But for that first quarter, the gas pedal was Cameron Parks. He was unbelievable inside the paint, unbelievable with the ball, creating space for himself. He dropped 10 for Perk Valley, and leading scores for Boyertown. Take a wild guess, John.
Is it your pick?
It is
Christian
my pick,
Renninger.
Christian Renninger. 9 points for Renninger. 8 for DeGuglielmo, 6 for Kiefer. Another telling thing as I look at my book here, that we talk about it a lot. We talked about it a couple games ago, and it's going to have to change if Boyertown's going to have an opportunity to win this game. Still early. Perk Valley's 4 for 4 from the line. Boyertown's 0 for 3.
First, before we get into that, great job by our cheerleaders right there. This is, with everything going on this year, we haven't even seen them perform too much. At football games, we were able to see them, but they haven't been here at the basketball games. That's one of the big aspects that's been missing from the basketball games this year, is seeing the cheerleaders out there, and they worked hard. They work hard pretty much all year long at their craft. So congratulations to the cheerleaders getting back out here for a big Friday night game.
As a cheer dad, John, my daughter Kate, cheerleader, graduated last year from this fine institution. Very well said. And to say that they put in work all year long is an understatement. So continue with your point to tell me how right I am about foul shooting.
So, yeah, the foul shooting is going to be big here. The referees seem to be letting a lot go. They're letting the physical nature of this game kind of not take over, but they're just letting it happen. There's a couple times when maybe there was a body thrown at Boyertown, and then at PV, where I thought that might have been a foul. The referees could call that and try to calm things down, but they're letting it go. So, unfortunately for Boyertown, that seems like it's not going to be a situation where PV is going to get in any foul trouble early in the third quarter here. If PV was to get into some foul trouble, commit 4 or 5 fouls in the third quarter, early in the fourth, the Bears might be able to get to the line, and that might help them throughout the rest of the game. But you're right. Those foul shots got to fall. That's, let's just say conservatively they make 2 of those 3. That's not even 70% where you want to be. But now that's a 2-point game right here. You're not down by 4. It's a 1-possession game. Little things right now are going to be magnified because of Salata not being on this floor, and because of PV, the way they played and having the momentum going into the second half. So little things are definitely magnified here, like foul shooting and trying to get to the foul line. Skinny Moats from the table, Jim, sends this up. Look at this stat. First 4 minutes for the Bears. How many points? You remember? First 4 minutes.
First 4 minutes? 15? No. 12?
17.
Wow.
In the last 12 minutes, 6.
Wow. And I think you could probably, not to that extreme, but Perk Valley's scoreline is similar to that.
I would. You know what? We should text them and find out what theirs is, because they were in the first 4 minutes. They were at 4 points, I think, and that would mean over the last 12, 23. So Boyertown's been outscored 23-6 here in the quarter and a half of action.
Yeah, Boyertown had 19 points at the end of the first quarter. They now have 23. So that certainly is something that we're going to have to work on here as a team. And I'm sure Coach Ludwig, with 4 minutes and 41 seconds left on the clock till halftime is over, I wouldn't expect Boyertown to come walking out of that locker room until maybe 45 seconds left on the clock.
I don't think this is a fire and brimstone speech that Mike Ludwig has to give his players in there. Those speeches never seem to work anymore. I don't know if they ever worked on me. I never took to hard coaching. I was very, very Carson Wentz.
You're very soft.
But anyway, I digress. This speech right now for Coach Ludwig is pretty much all X's and O's. I think your first 5 minutes in the gym is just all in the locker room is just all X's and O's. And what have they done? What have we done? I think what they did early is they got open shots and they knocked them down. They got in transition. What has PV done though to combat that? They've upped their pressure, and that has slowed Boyertown down. So what do you do now? You have, like I said, you want to have ball handlers available to help out Marinello, to help out Renninger, whoever's bringing that ball off the floor. I think once they get across half court, you get that ball out of your hands and you get into a set quick. You get that ball to a wing quick and you start your set. And I think the key word there is set. You have to run a set. Let's not be eager to shoot that three. Against Springford, what they did when Springford made that run is they got the ball inside to Trey. They allowed him to work. They allowed him to kick out. And I think that was one of the times that David Lay got that big three. They got it inside to Trey. He kicked it out to David Lay. Those threes are okay. Get it inside. Let your best player handle the ball. Let him distribute. If your other best player, Salata, is off the floor right now.
Yeah, John, I think, too, the other piece we need to think about, as I will sit here and say that I am wrong, 2 minutes and 45 seconds left, and Boyertown has emerged from the locker room. I think a lot, too, of that halftime speech is probably what the 76ers hear a lot at halftime, which is, let's do a better job taking care of the basketball. Let's try not to make some careless turnovers anymore. Relax on offense and not rush too much, especially when you're being pressured on defense.
Well, I think Joel Embiid would really listen to that coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, he probably would.
He would.
I think Joel Embiid would like my insights. He'd be a fun guy to hang out with.
Yeah, or he would just, make a funny tweet about you and send it out.
Would not be the first funny tweet about me, and it certainly is not going to be the last. We have just under 2 minutes left till halftime. John, I'm having a hard time deciding what I'm in the mood for dinner tonight.
Well, let's figure it out, Jim. 45 seconds.
Minute and 45 seconds. I don't know. I really am. I think that's the problem of. I think that's the problem of liking everything. It makes it very hard to decide what you're going to have.
Tonight, my wife said, I'm going to make pizza frite. You know what that is?
No.
I was excited. I thought, what, are we going to deep fry a piece of pizza? I'm in.
Yeah.
But no, pizza frite is you take pizza dough and you fry it up. You get some oil, you fry it up, and then you put confectioner sugar on it.
Like a dessert.
Yes, it's like a homemade donut. It's like a homemade funnel cake. That was my dinner. Pizza frite funnel cake was my dinner tonight.
Funnel cake for dinner for John Kaleda. That's impressive. John, there's one food that I don't like. You're never going to guess it. But
it's not queen cut prime rib, I'll tell you
it
that.
absolutely is not a queen cut prime rib. Absolutely not.
What is it?
Grape jelly. Not a fan of the grape jelly. Although, you know what I did discover late in life that I just discovered about a week ago?
Mm-hmm.
Smucker's Uncrustable sandwiches.
Oh,
that you get from the freezer?
With your son, what, couple years, pending peanut allergy test, which you have to have so many times. That's a game changer for you and your wife. The Uncrustable sandwiches.
It's a game changer for me.
Or you, yeah, sure.
All right, here we go. Perk Valley's going to start this half with a 4-point lead. They have their starters. Boyertown has their starters. And David Lay quickly, with a defensive effort on the baseline, forces a turnover. John, that's your guy coming out strong in the second half.
There he is. That's also why you have that third referee down there. I was wondering if they were going to see that. He was in good position, made that call, bare ball.
This is probably the loudest I've heard the gym all year, thanks to usually the JV teams stay behind their varsity teams. But PV's JV team has decided to make camp right in front of us.
It does sound like a real Friday night basketball game in here. It's kind of nice. Get me all misty-eyed.
You're misty-eyed thinking about fans. I'm misty-eyed from all the conversation about the Queen Cut prime rib. Beautiful pass from Kohler inside to DeBeebe. Reverse layup. First points of the second half. 6-point lead for the Vikings.
PV just executes so well. That was like they practiced that a million times. That little pass right there, instead of a high-low, was a little low-high situation. But that's what you look for. When the ball goes down low, you look for that defense to collapse, and you look up high. Same as if you look, catch the ball high, you look low.
Boyertown tried another little finesse pass inside to DeGuglielmo. That's the first one that didn't work today. And Perk Valley will take over. Boyertown needs a defensive stance here. They look like they're setting their 2-3. They're going to pressure a little bit. DeBeebe in the high post. Replaced by Kohler. And here comes that methodical offense you talked about, John. Kohler left alone from 15 feet, doesn't convert. Boyertown's going to come the other way. DeGuglielmo tries to get it again inside. Good defense from Kohler. Trey's three is short. I'm sorry, that was Parks on the defense against DeGuglielmo. But here's Reniger driving. Coach Ludwig not happy with the no call. And here's Parks. That's not going to fall. Kohler finds Lapatina. That doesn't fall. So we had feast for Boyertown in the first quarter, feast for Perk Valley in the second quarter. And so far, about 3 minutes into the third quarter, famine for both.
I do like what the Bears are doing here. Keep trying to get that thing inside and let your big man distribute out on the wings. They might get looks if they continue to put Kiefer or Trey down there on the block.
Long three-pointer from Roman Marinello off the front of the rim.
See, that three was almost just like I'm tired of working the ball here. I'm tired of passing it around. That three was not needed right there. The Bears have gotten a couple of looks here by entering the ball in, by kicking it out. Kiefer had just set a screen for Trey, a high-low screen for DeGuglielmo. Instead of taking that three after the high-low screen was set, the ball could have been reversed over towards the Bears bench, and you can let Trey try to post up on that baseline. And maybe that's what Coach Ludwig's talking about right here. Try how to get Kiefer and DeGuglielmo the ball down low. In their sets, they don't really run that 3-out, 2-in motion, block-to-block screen. However, setting a high-low screen, setting a screen for a teammate shouldn't be that hard a thing to put in right now, especially when you're in a 4-out motion set. You just maybe identify Kiefer and Trey, and you say, listen, you two are always looking for each other, always trying to set that screen. Communicate, go high-low, go block-to-block, and see if you can't get something inside, because you need something right now to stop the bleeding. The threes aren't falling. Try to get it inside, see if that works.
So we'll see what Boyertown can do here. They'll have to go full court. No pressure from Perk Valley yet. Marinello crosses midcourt. Perk Valley in their man-to-man. A lot of pressure underneath. Kiefer trying to set screens. Guglielmo trying to come off of it. And that one doesn't work either. Another entry pass into Trey. Parks tries to find Maselli. Doesn't hit anybody, and Jake Kapp's going to come back into the game.
What Perk Valley is doing a nice job of is they're helping on that weak side there. They're trying to lob the ball inside to Kiefer or to Guglielmo, but it's tough because that opposite player is helping out. But that means the wing on the opposite side for the Bears needs to move, needs to make themselves available. Over here, Renninger just stood on the wing, and that allowed his man to just stand there and help on that lob pass. Wings have got to be more active. You don't think about this, but if the wings are more active, it opens up opportunities to pass the ball inside.
Park's three-pointer is long. Wings are more active, John. That's that as Lay at the top of the key. That's no good. Wings being more open, I bet that makes them flappy. Happy, flappy. It's a pun, John.
I don't get it.
It's a pun.
I'm gonna give you the Coach Ludwig. Not right now, Jim.
You didn't find that punny, John?
Oh, God.
Down to the 3-minute mark here in the third quarter. 8-point lead for Perk Valley. They got methodical there offensively. Boyertown able to get the turnover. Bears have got to find some offense here. Jake Kapp tries. That is no good. Parks with the rebound. Still scoreless for the Bears in the second half. And John, it seems like that offensive output of 19 points in the first quarter, it seems like that was games ago.
Well, we said that the Bears feed off emotion. This team plays better when they get energetic on the defensive end. And even though it might be the better matchup right here with Eric Salata off the floor and all your bigs out there, it might be the better matchup to go 2-3, and you're not going to allow Lapatina and Parks to drive past you. It might be time to think about going man-to-man right here. It might be time to think about saying, go man-to-man, get up on your guy, and we're just going to start playing defense and try to prove that we can go out 5-on-5 and beat somebody here. It might lead to a couple of layups. It might lead to a couple of open shots for PV, but what you're banking on is that the energy it creates maybe gets you some turnovers, gets you some open looks on the other end, because try to create something with your defense right now, because your offense walking the ball up is just not working.
John, the other thing we talked about at halftime was the physicality of this game and the referees letting things go. We have 2:30 left in the third quarter. Not a foul has been called. Double team at the midcourt line. They're able to find Kohler, but Jake Kapp out of nowhere comes with the block.
Great block by Jake Kapp. Bucket here would be huge momentum swing for the Bears.
Inside to Schaefer. He's going to try to work something on that block. Finds the Guglielmo's three. That's going to be over the backboard.
There's your inside out. There's your inside out. DeGuglielmo had an open look right there after getting the ball inside. Keep getting it inside. You're going to get open looks. Something's got to fall. It's just not right now. And 1 point the Bears scored in last night's fourth quarter. I'm telling you, Jim, this looks eerily similar aside from the point output from PV. So hopefully PV, does not get a shot off here or misses, and the Bears can go back down. But I would not bank on the Vikings missing too many more opportunities here on this offensive end.
I think if you ask the Boyertown coaching staff after that second quarter, if you would have said, hey, as they put up their 6th point, we're going to keep Perk Valley to 6 points in the third quarter, I think you would have taken it. You wouldn't expect that you would be scoreless with 1:30 left in the same quarter. Boyertown trying to make something work here. They're going to go inside to Trey. He's going to get double teamed. Leaves Cap open, swinging it one more time to Reniger. He goes in the paint, and Boyertown finally able to convert and get something on the board here in this second half. 33-25 is the Viking lead. And here comes that slow walk up as Maselli drives the lane. They'll have the ball on the block.
Well, 0 fouls the whole way through, bodies everywhere, and we're calling that. Interesting. Now, what I will say is the referees can dictate what fouls they call. They can dictate the flow of the game here. So maybe they see that bodies are starting to fly. It's getting a little, Bears are starting to trap a little bit. So maybe these fouls will start to become more common as they try to get a hold on this game.
Reniger with a great steal. I'm going to assume they said that went off his knee, because it certainly looked like it was tipped away by Dominic Maselli. Boyertown trying to double team across midcourt. They're able to find Lapatina on the baseline. And Maselli will get that back. Schaefer will be called for the foul.
Bears just slow rotating there. And Lapatina, it looks like that little floater on the lane is part of his game. Hasn't made one yet tonight. But when the leading scorer, one of the leading scorers of the pack, is that close to the basket and misses that shot, a rebound is essential right there. And the Bears got to make sure in this fourth quarter that every little thing, every loose ball, every rebound opportunity goes their way, because you are not going to come back against this PV team down 8 by just trying to jack threes and pray for the best on defense. Every little thing has to be taken care of.
Maselli misses his first. Makes the second. Got 43 seconds left and a 9-point lead for the Vikings. Boyertown still trying to find something here with about 30 seconds left. A lot of motion, a lot of movement. And that was a smart play by Cameron Parks. He's having one heck of a game here for the Vikings.
It seems like PV has so many just savvy players who understand the game. They know what spots to be, and they know when to make certain plays. Well coached team always, and looks like they have the players this year to really compete and do something big in the playoffs.
15 seconds left now. Maselli's going to drive and kick it out. Perk Valley's clearly going to wait, run this time off. Parks loses it. They only got 2 seconds. Chuck it, Christian. A little bit slow on that release. It doesn't fall. Perk Valley only has an output of 7 points that quarter. Boyertown only able to get 2 from Christian Reniger.
The game is not obviously out of reach, and the message right now to Boyertown, I'm sure, is, do you remember what happened at 6:45 today when you came out and played the best basketball that we have all season for about 6 minutes? Why can't that happen again? Why can't that happen again? And really, like we said, this team feeds off emotion. They are extremely streaky. If they can hit a three early on here, and I know I said don't take threes, but I think we're past that right now. We have to start looking for opportunities here and take some three-point shots. If they can make a three-pointer early in this quarter, and then all of a sudden things start going their way, stop, shot over here, stop, two-pointer, now it's a 5-point game, 4-point game, 3-point game. That's how the Bears have to look at this. They're not going to get it back all in one shot, but what they need to do here is execute very well on this first opportunity they have, get a bucket, and let the momentum start to come back to them. This first possession, vital right now for the Bears to get something good going for them in this fourth quarter.
One advantage Boyertown does have is they will have the ball to start this fourth quarter. Early low screens back and forth. Still a lot of movement from Boyertown. They're looking for something. Trey's open on that low
Christian.
block, just a little too late to find him. He wants it against Parks. And that's going to get the offensive foul. Coach Ludwig is not happy with that call.
Well, it's another key word there, savvy. And I don't even think anybody understands what a charge looks like anymore. Sometimes it's just kind of a flip of the coin. But Parks there did everything he needed to make it look like a charge. This kid has made plays for PV all game. If Lapatina is the engine, Parks is the
gas pedal, John.
There you go.
That was already my analogy about 20
minutes
you're right.
ago.
DeBeebe goes coast to coast. Jake Kapp breathes on him, and he's going to the line to shoot two. Still a 9-point game. Christian Reniger having a conversation with the referee, walking away shaking his head. Would love to be a fly on that shoulder to see what that was about. Good for Boyertown that he missed both of those. See what we can do. Jake Kapp's three-pointer. That looked good when it left his hand, and that is what Boyertown needs. Here comes some pressure from the Bears. They find Parks. That got tipped. Good defense from Boyertown on that baseline. Here comes a drive. Jake Kapp's going to gun that one. You know it. Off the front is no good. Good effort by Reniger to get that rebound. We have some players wide open. Here's Hummel. He drains it for Boyertown. This is what they need.
This is that streak. This is that streaky we're talking about here. You don't have to go and gamble all the way. Maybe you do gamble. Come on, Jake.
Trey DeGuglielmo lays it in for Boyertown, and they cut this lead to 1. And the Vikings are walking to their full timeout.
Right now, you keep the emotion high in your huddle right now if you're Coach Ludwig, but you also say, guys, the game has changed in the last 30 seconds here. It is no longer a situation where we have to just, go out and jack everything we can and gamble defensively. It is a 1-point game now. It is a flip of a coin now the rest of the way. Who wins this game? Play better. Take care of those little things. Get offensive rebounds. If they drive in, we have to rotate, challenge shots. They have 0 fouls right now. PV does. So go at them. The referees are looking at that too. And I would bet that Coach Ludwig and Coach Miller and Coach Marinello are letting the referees know as well that PV has played a perfect game and hasn't fouled anybody here in the second half. Obviously, that's not true. So the referees hopefully will give some calls to Boyertown here, help them along. I'm looking for a big finish here, Jim. We're going to have a good 6 minutes and 29 seconds here. I can feel it.
We've got a 1-point game. Vikings up 34-33. Here's that defensive pressure from Boyertown we saw in the first quarter. They're going high to Parks. Underneath to Kohler. He lays it in, and he'll go to the line for one more. Little late from Boyertown to get that recovery.
Cap was a tad late. When that ball goes high post,
Yep.
immediately wings need to go right down to the block. Not all the way to the block, but they need to retreat to that block to take that pass away. And he was just a hair late. Got his hand in there just a hair late. And hopefully here the shot does not go in to keep it a one-possession game.
It does not, but there is Parks, who seems to have been all over the court tonight.
Oof. He's tough.
And it's a 4-point game. Lots of pressure here now from the Perk Valley defense. They're in a man-to-man. Nice screen by Cap. That opens up Hummel. Drive by Reniger. And he nails it. And gets the foul. He'll go to the line for one more.
It's 5-0 on the board, fouls. I don't care if that was a charge. As an official, if you want the coaches to not follow you out of here, you give that call to Boyertown there. And chance here to put this at a 2-point game here and keep Boyertown right within striking distance.
Reniger converts. It's a 2-point game. Full court pressure from the Bears now. Jake Cap almost able to tip that away. He's able to sprint back, and Boyertown's able to get set now. Little bit of miscommunication there from the Bears, but they've recovered nicely. DeBeebe at the high post. Great drive from Lapatina. We're back to 4. Good movement from Boyertown. Some of that inside-out game we talked about. They'll work it around the perimeter. Take some opportunities for a drive. See if they'll kick or take it to the hole. Reniger takes it to the hole, off the top of the glass, and converts. It's another 2-point game, and Coach Ludwig calls a 30-second timeout, and he'll send Jordan Butler to the scores table.
So this tells me, do not relay this to the PV bench, but Jordan Butler going in there tells me that Coach Ludwig is going to cook up some sort of a trap right here, going to cook up some sort of a full court length press, something, because Jordan Butler is a very, very athletic defensive specialist for the Bears. They're probably hoping right now to take control of this game, get a couple of turnovers, keep the momentum, take a lead, and Jim, whoever has a lead here with 2 minutes left in this game, it's going to be real tough for the other team to come back, seeing as how well PV moves the ball and how well they keep possession. And then if Boyertown's in the lead with 2 minutes left, how well they shoot and how well they can knock down foul shots. So it is like a 2-3 minute race here to see who can be in the lead.
It's that full court pressure from Boyertown, but they're able to find Parks on a long pass right out of the gate. Back to a 4-point game. Cap's going to shoot that 3. That's going to be a little right. Here comes their pressure. DeBeebe goes up against Butler. He's able to get the rebound. Little bit of pressure. Reniger tries to get aggressive on that steal, leave Maselli open to drive. Leads push back to 6. John, I'm having a hard time understanding how Christian Reniger, who's pretty much been running the point for Boyertown tonight, doing a great job with it, drives the lane. And it's almost like the grassy knoll, just out of nowhere, the ball just left his hand and went out of bounds. But it's off of Boyertown.
I'm sure Christian would like to have that one back. And, you know, as the lead gets more for PV, you probably feel yourself thinking that you have to make some sort of quick bucket. But with 4 minutes left, you're not at that point yet. You could have tried to work the ball around, get an open 3, get an open look. So the Bears now, next foul, they're putting PV in the bonus. PV's nowhere near that threshold, so things all going well for PV here. Boyertown's going to need a lot of made shots and a lot of stops here in these last 3 minutes.
And there's a stop. Lapatina with a quick shot from the corner off the inbounds pass. Boyertown still down 6. As Cap's coming back to the scores table. Hummel will put up that long 3, and it's long. Reniger with the rebound. Boyertown will have another chance. Man-to-man from Perk Valley, and they're face guarding every drive. Reniger's shot is no good. And there's Parks again for the Vikings. Lapatina on the drive. Reniger get called for the body foul, and here goes the 1-and-1 parade for Perk Valley.
You know, a difference between PV and Boyertown. When PV was down by 10, they had all 5 guys on the floor seem to understand the intensity that they needed to play with, and they relatively quickly got back in the game and took the lead. When it comes to Boyertown here, on those long shots, you had maybe one guy in the lane crashing. You know, they got lucky. There was a long rebound that came back out, and they got it. But these are situations now when you kind of throw your coach to stay back for defensive balance, crash the boards. You need all guys in there right now. You need 5 guys crashing those boards after the shot. You need all guys playing defense and trying to make sure you're getting steals. It's going to take 5 guys playing like banshees right now for Boyertown to make something happen in these 3 minutes.
Boyertown still working it around the perimeter. Christian Reniger comes off the screen. He goes into the lane, and he converts. Boyertown's coming out in a full pressure. Going to try to trap at the top with Hummel. Here comes Perk Valley being patient. That's a walk. And he gets called for that. Maselli just a little too quick. Drags that pivot foot. Boyertown down 6, 2:38 left.
I don't foresee that happening too much here the rest of the game. Boyertown needs to take advantage.
Trey's going to put that up. Ball goes out of bounds. Perk Valley will have it. Not sure what's going on here. I think Parks ended up on the floor.
Parks slipped, and very, very lucky he didn't hurt something or tear something. He's pointing to the floor. He must have been trying to leak out for a layup there off a rebound and slipped on some sweat probably. So hopefully they get that cleaned up. Thankfully nobody got hurt there.
John, one thing as I look down at my book here and I look out at Perk Valley, we have 2 minutes and 24 seconds left in this game. Perk Valley made 1 substitution today for a grand total of maybe 2.5 minutes.
Just 1.
It's been their starting 5 all game.
Wow. And we talked about fatigue. Now it's all running together, Jim, if that was on air or not. But this is plenty of games in just a short amount of time for Boyertown. I'm not sure about PV's schedule, but it's probably been a little bit more spaced out. So, right now they have fresher legs. They can do that. We can't.
Good job by Maselli to break that press. Lapatina tries to put it up. Great position by Jake Cap for that rebound. And he's going to put up a 3. That looks like it's going to be short, and it is. And there's Parks with another rebound. He'll go to the line to shoot 1-and-1. It's got to be tough for these kids. You see, especially we talk about Perk Valley not making substitutions. Parks has been all over this court tonight, and he makes the slow walk to the foul line, pulling that mask away from his face, just trying to get a decent breath. He's able to do so and hits the first of his 1-and-1. And the second quick 8-point lead here for the Vikings. Boyertown has had spurts. They've had spurts of 2 minutes where they've been able to convert. And we're going to call a foul on the floor. And that's going to go against Ethan Kohler. Perk Valley with their second foul of the half. with 1:50 left in the game.
I mean, it looked violent there. Kohler's, it doesn't seem like he touched him, but I mean, I'm not sure what happened there, but it did look like there was contact.
Trey from the corner, he drains that. We spent a lot of time this year talking about opportune three-pointers. Usually comes from a Cap or a Hummel. This time to Guglielmo from the corner, wide open, able to convert. It is now a 5-point game.
I'm emotionally drained, Jim, but if I were down there in my state, I'd be telling the guys who were the foul shooters that were trying to go after here for PV, and Coach Ludwig is always very, very well prepared, and he knows percentages. He keeps track of other teams, best foul shooters, the ones that they're looking to foul in certain situations. So I'm sure that right now they're getting a glimpse into who they should be looking to foul. Sometimes it's just not possible, but I would say you've got one possession here of about 15, 20 seconds where you can try to get a steal. You hope that they put a shot up and you get a rebound. But then on the other side, you know that Coach Poison is saying to his team, they're going to come after you, be strong with the ball, don't give it up, don't take a shot unless it is a wide open layup.
Boyertown showing full court pressure. Perk Valley not going to go deep this time. They're going to go to Kohler, who's going to find Parks. They will reset. And Kohler's going to be all alone under the basket for two. If they're going to score, John, make them score quickly. They did it that time. Hummel's three-pointer finally rolls in. Boyertown still has life, down 4, 1:13 left. That's a good trap for Boyertown. And a quick timeout by Perk Valley.
Is that true? Is that their last timeout?
For Perk Valley, I should have one more.
Says one more. Okay, so they must have taken that off the board here pretty quick. That'd have been big if they had.
Oh no, they don't. Look at that.
So up by 4. Does that really matter here?
See, now it's back again.
It's back up there.
Yeah, there he is.
So Boyertown is a team that needs those timeouts there, and I think it was a good decision to not call that timeout there by Coach Ludwig and let his team kind of play it out. He needs to save that timeout for when they get it to a one-possession game. If they can get this to a one-possession game, then you call that timeout, and then you pray to God you can get a 5-second call, or you can foul, send them to the line, and then get that ball back.
Very, very, very close to an over and back there on the inbounds to DeBebe. Parks with it, covered by Reniger. And that's Lapatina on the block. And he's going to put it up and get fouled. Not what you're hoping for if you're Boyertown. Could extend this to a 7-point game with under a minute left.
PV is just a well-rounded team. They seem to have every part that you would need. I don't see, height-wise out there anything about what Boyertown has, but they have ball handling. They have those savvy players. They have a scorer that they can count on in Lapatina. This is a pretty well-built team.
Boyertown's going to have to move quick. And Boyertown ball under the basket.
That just might be. I know Coach Ludwig's standing there. I don't want him to yell at me. I'm just going to give Boyertown the ball back because that did not look like it went off of a PV player.
Hummel's got to get it in. Finally does. And Kohler able to get it to the hole. He'll put 2 more down for Perk Valley. Reniger goes into the paint. That's no good. Roman Marinello is short. 20 seconds left. Boyertown still working some pressure, seeing what they can do here. Perk Valley's going to bring it out. Under 10. Still no quit from Boyertown. And that's going to be the ball game. We're going to see what the referees are discussing here. Not sure what's going on here, John.
So they're trying to figure out, I think, if time is left on the clock there. Of course, there's no, what is that, hundredths position? Thank you, Mr. Izzy, for the math lesson. So they might have been thinking that there was actually some time left on the clock there. But, Mr. McClellan at the table just must have heard the whistle, pressed the clock button, and because of that, the buzzer didn't sound. So confusion over that, but didn't really matter as PV held a 9-point advantage there. And man, for how well that game started, to get outscored by 19, 20 points the rest of the way, did not see that happening. But then again, this is what we have known this Boyertown team to be, a streaky, feast or famine team. And I did say that the halftime speech was not going to be an in-your-face type speech, but this one might be, because this game hurts. This hurts. This was a big game for them. They had circled this after that loss. After that loss last night, they needed this one to assure themselves a berth in the district. The last time I saw, they were hanging on at 15 out of 20 who were getting in. So this loss does not help tonight, and now just one or two more opportunities for them to try to get a win against PJP or Phoenixville, I believe, both whom have a lot of wins between them. A win now on Saturday or Monday probably gets Boyertown in, but this win tonight would have been big.
John, I'm going to read you something from my book here that I think is, it's not my book like a literature book.
Oh, I thought you were going to read me The Great Gatsby or something, Jim.
I'm not going to read you The Great Gatsby, John. I'm looking at the book that I use to keep my stats in, which just so happens to be a lovely Marvel's Avengers notebook.
Oh, dear. Did you, a middle schooler left that in the hallway and now it's yours, Jim?
I think I bought it for one of my sons when they were in grade school, and I just found it on a bookshelf somewhere. Anyway, John, here's the stat line for the team scoring for Boyertown by quarter. First quarter, 19 points.
Great job.
Second quarter, 4 points. Third quarter, 2 points. Fourth quarter, 21 points.
There's a streak, the streakiness of them, and when you live by the three-pointer, you die by it. And the ball handling early in that second quarter did affect Boyertown. They needed, and after that second quarter, they were fine. They needed a couple of minutes to figure out how they were going to handle PV's pressure, and PV took advantage. So hopefully for the Bears, Salata can get back on the floor for Saturday and Monday and kind of bring some stability back here to the Bears. This one's going to be tough to swallow for them, and I believe, well, the girls play in the afternoon tomorrow. I'm not sure what the boys are doing, but it's going to be a quick turnaround for them like it has been this whole week. Can they finish strong? Can they will themselves to get a couple of wins is the big question.
No surprise on the Perk Valley side as I quickly count up here. Lapatina ended up the big score for Perk Valley with 19. Not too far behind him was Parks at 16. Kohler with a lot of key baskets underneath the basket tonight for the Vikings. He puts in 12. DeBeebe adds 2. And Maselli with 6. On the Boyertown side, DeGuglielmo 13 tonight for Trey. Jake Kapp adds 3. 18 for Christian Reniger. He leads all scorers on the Boyertown side. 6 for Kiefer, something telling here. 6 points for Kiefer, all in the first quarter. Scoreless for the rest of the game. And Hummel drops in 6. So what's our schedule here tomorrow, John? We got the girls here tomorrow?
We do have the girls. It is a 12 o'clock JV start, I believe, with a 1:15-ish varsity tip. We'll be back here in the NFHS network. And for the girls, we said it last night, they're not in as good a position as the boys are for districts, but still the girls there's that upper echelon of district teams, and then there's everyone else, and everyone else always seems to be around the same 500 mark there, and it seems to like the girls think they still might have a shot depending on what happens tonight in their game against PV. So big game tomorrow for the boys and the girls playing JV or playing PJP.
John, 12:30 JV start. We'll get on a 1:45 maybe.
I think it's 12 and 1:15.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's perfect timing for a trip to a grill shop before the game.
Ooh. Good call.
That could be in the cards. We'll be back here tomorrow afternoon for the Lady Bears as they face off against Pope John Paul Golden Panthers. Have a wonderful Friday night. And don't forget, subscribe to the Boyertown Athletics YouTube channel and become a fan of the new pregame show. Who knows how often we're going to do it. The Faces for Radio pregame show, starring Jim and the Reverend. Maybe that's how we'll tag that.
That's good. I like
All
that.
right. See you tomorrow.